Hello, it's Doris with Aldi Books, and I have another little project. I love projects, I think we all know this. So, today's project, this week's project, the next 10 days, 10 days left in the month of April. Some of you may have noticed that I have been having thoughts about my physical TBR over the course of the last year. Really, the course of the last 2+ years, actually, because I did have the now defunct Tower of Doom, which became the Card of Chaos, but that didn't last very long. But I've just been making progress, lots of progress. I'll talk about that soon, but this project for the next 10 days, I have several books on my shelf that I look at them and I'm like, maybe. I'm not fired up, like I'm not excited, but I'm not, completely dismissive either. So I thought, let's pick up one of those books every day, these last 10 days, do a little try a chapter tag, book analysis, and see if I really still want to read the book. So if I decide yes, I'm here for that. Hopefully my excitement will be reinitiated. If not, it can go in the unhaul pile. So the first candidate is Kiss Kiss by Roald Dahl, Expect the Unexpected. Now, this particular book, I know exactly why I bought it. I bought it because it has bees on the cover. Yes, it is indeed a cover buy. Pure and simple. I like Roald Dahl, definitely, especially his kids' stuff. Do I love him? I mean, I don't feel compelled to read everything he wrote, but I do indeed like him. Short story collections, so those are hit or miss. Like, the stories themselves are hit or miss, but collections by and large, I don't often love short story collections. Sometimes it happens though. So one thing in the book's favor, definitely though, is the back. In these dark, disturbing stories, Roald Dahl explores the sinister side of human nature. I do like that. So I am going to check this out today, and I will update you later. Oh, we have a popcorn bar to celebrate finishing the ELA portion of state testing. Fun times. Hey, so you're perched precariously. I read the first short story in Kiss Kiss this morning, and it was fine. It was kind of fun, a little bit campfire-ish with the sinister tones, I would say. A little bit of a mystery involved. Open-ended, and just really not really what I'm in the mood for these days. So, like I said, I think it's fine. You might enjoy this style story. I think for me, the short story collections that I engage with are ones that are either very literary in tone and very thematic and have a commentary on life in some way. I really like those. I sometimes like ones that are set in a culture that is vastly different from my own, or longer short stories, almost novella in length, where you can really engage with the characters in some way. So yeah, I am going to unhaul this one. I'll be back tomorrow with the next one. Stay tuned. Fun times with the 6th graders. Good morning. So today's trial is The Island of Sea Women by Lisa See. Now, I've heard great things about this book, and I have read Lisa See before and enjoyed her. I have also read Lisa See before and been kind of, And I've read Lisa C before and been really annoyed. And unfortunately, the most recent books were the ones that annoyed me. So, you know, could go either way with this one. If I'm feeling meh or I'm definitely going to unhaul it. The problems with this, like, this is a book that I would really enjoy. I really like books set in Asian countries, written by Asian authors, and, you know, it's got potential. However, Chicky, you're not helping. You want to be on camera? Not really? Is this not what you're wanting? I have lately, this I would say is commercial fiction or general fiction. It's historical fiction. I have lately not been enjoying that as much. I find myself speed reading a lot of it, skimming bits, you know, which is often an indicator that you're not really enjoying the book as much as you think you are. I am not enjoying the book as much as I think I am. So the other issue is that I read White Chrysanthemums by Marilyn Bracht a couple years ago, which is, as you can see, extremely similar, at least in historical, geographical moments. So this one is a story of sisters and talks about comfort women. So, you know, the famous diving women of Korea, and set during the Japanese occupation. This one, I believe, is two best friends, so different. So we'll see. We'll see. I did look on Goodreads, and this has well above a 4-star rating. And the Poptimist reviewed it and gave it 4 stars. So I tend to like his books. But again, you know, I just haven't as much been in the mood for this style of writing of late. So I'll keep you posted. My lilac bushes are starting to bloom. We need smell-o-vision for this. Go find some lilac bushes in your town. So I read the introduction, which is set in the now, and I think I'm going to read a couple more. I mean, it was definitely intriguing. The problem I have with Lisa C is she tends toward trauma porn, I think it's called. Where she uses bad things to drive the plot, and, you know, I don't mind reading bad things at all, but I don't know, she does it a lot, like a lot in the same book, you know what I'm saying? So I am going to, we're back in 1938, I'm going to read that, and I don't know if it's going to switch. Born a cow, that's funny. It's definitely going to go back and forth in time, I think. But I don't know about perspectives. So, yeah, I'm going to read a little more and check back in. I'm going to do a little reading on my lunch break. But first, hey, sorry for the awkward angle. It's just like the best I could manage. And aren't the clouds beautiful? Anyway, The Island of Sea Women. So, if you are into historical fiction, if you want to learn more about Korea during the Japanese occupation through World War II and the Korean War. Highly recommend this if you like stories about mothers and daughters and friendship groups, and there's a wasp out there. Bye-bye. This may be the book for you. It has really high ratings on Goodreads. Several booktubers have endorsed it with 4 stars. However, I am putting it aside. That opening was great, very concise. But if you've watched any of Sean the Bookmaniac's page 112 tags, in which he comments that the opening chapters of books often are very highly polished and attention grabbing for a reason. So I went on to read the second chapter, and it was still good. It was interesting, but it was very info dumpy, which again, if you're into historical fiction and you like reading it for the information, which I love information, you know, it wasn't off-putting, but it was definitely info dumpy. I did find myself already in the first chapter skim reading. So the text just wasn't immersive enough to keep me engaged 100%. And by page 25, there was already the first traumatic moment. So, and again, I don't mind the traumatic moments, especially in historic work like this. But she puts a lot of traumatic moments that aren't related to the history. So it's just a lot. It's a lot. But I was reading the Poptimist review that I mentioned before, and he talks about an obscure historical event, the 4/3 incident, April 3rd or March, anyway, the 4/3 incident, which was really interesting. So I did skim through around midway and found that and read it. And then I was glad that I didn't read the whole book because, yeah, there's a lot. And I read the last chapter too, and there's just a lot. So be prepared if you're interested in reading this. Again, I think it's probably a really great book if this is what you're wanting to read these days. It just isn't what I'm drawn to right now, and I don't think I will be. I mean, especially not after I've spoiled the middle and the end for myself. But I'm totally cool with that. Like, I'm glad I did it because, again, personally, this is not what I want to read right now. But I think it's probably great if it's what you want to read. So, moving on. This is fun. Okay. What a beautiful day. My goodness. Love it. Yes. Hello. Happy Friday. So I hope you enjoyed the first 2 books in my little project that I've come up with. I'm having a lot of fun with it already. Only 2 books in. But I realized that I'm going to have more video footage of me running my mouth than I like to put in just one video. So I'm going to break it up a little bit. I thought I'd join the first 2 to my Friday reads here, and I might do a little weekend vlog maybe. The weather is glorious, as you have seen. Oh, so yeah, I think maybe a weekend vlog is in order. So I'll tack a couple onto that, and then maybe do a wrap up next week of the remainder. So that sounds like a good plan for now. So my Friday reads, I've, DNF'd 2 books already, or unhauled them, however you want to look at that. And I am making progress in these 2 books that I started like January, February maybe, and put aside. And I decided I want to finish them this month. So The Way We Live Now by Anthony Trollope, I am definitely past halfway and really enjoying this. I wasn't sure at first. It took me a little while to sink into it. But luckily, there's a lot of it to enjoy once the sinking in has happened. Anthony Trollope is just so good with characters and the intrigue and how eventually the characters start intermingling and saying things thematically when you look at them individually. So more of that next Friday, but I will say Felix Carberry is horrible. He's so bad. And I'm wondering if Julia Quinn read this before writing the Bridgerton series, because the new Cousin Featherington reminds me somewhat of the business intrigue in here. So, yes. And then The Diversity of Life by Edward O. Wilson. Heidi and I have decided to get back into this one. And yes, it's written in 1992, I believe. And I think Heidi said it was a university textbook for her back in the day. So just a lot of information. That's still a nice refresher course, but E.O. Wilson just writes in a very, I wish that this had been my biology textbook back in the day instead of what I read, because it's much less, it's got all of the information, but it's so much less dry. And then I'm also on audiobook listening to 2 more books currently. So Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb, which I will wrap that up next weekend, I'm sure. Really enjoying it this time around. I read all of it, I think, several years ago, 3 or 4 years ago, and for some reason just did not latch onto it. But this time around, I just am all about Fitz and his development, and I'm just kind of charmed. I don't know if charmed is the right word. Captivated by what he's going to become. I just want to see it all play out and happen. So loving that fantasy series that I've just got, what are there, 12 or 14 in this world books. I'm very excited about this. Very excited because I hear great things. It just gets better and better from here. So that's great. And Robert E. Lee and Me, I forget the author, but I'll wrap that up next week as well. Oh my goodness. This book is just Robert E. Lee and Me. Oh my gosh. So, yes. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. Happy weekend. I hope you're at the cusp of a fabulous one. I feel like mine's gonna rock. So, thanks so much for watching, and I'll be back soon. Bye. You have a good day, baby?
Pretty good. Had 3 coffees already.
Nice. How many are you gonna have tonight?
There ain't no telling.